Alright, live chat should be working now. Oof. I think it's working. Check. Seconds. Is live chat working? Alright, live chat's working. Live chat's working. Alright, we good. We good. Good. Okay, we good. Alright. Well, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Bad. Season 10. Alright. Last time we finished off on Ant-Man versus the Atom, so we move on to my favorite episode. Let's go. Alright. Like, how loud is this?
Everywhere at the same time.
Alright, it could be better. Could be better.
Makes total sense. If you're small enough, you can.
Yeah, I think this is good. I think it's pretty good. Pretty good volume. Alright. Skyrim versus Dark
This
Souls.
episode of Death Battle is
Blood,
sponsored by Brandon
Dragonborn versus
Yates.
Chosen Undead. Is this the first time they've put the names of the series first and then in the like parentheses? I think that's the right term for parentheses. They put the actual names of the characters. This might be the first time they've done that. That's neat. Sponsored by Brandon Yates.
That's
Let's
right,
go
our
with that guy.
Brandon Yates.
Maybe I should react to some of his songs at some point. Let me know if you guys want to see that.
The Chosen Undead. The accursed god
Alright.
ruler from Dark Souls. The last Dragonborn. The dragon slaying savior.
Is that too loud? You guys will let me know if that's too loud.
Resigned to captivity, these two demi-human heroes embraced their destinies and stared down the very gods themselves. And devoured their friggin' souls! Because these two
Epic.
lack specific canon arsenals and movesets due to being role-playing protagonists, for this death battle we're giving them everything they have and maxing out all of their stats.
Everything they have. Except the armor, which is kind of weird. I've always found that weird that they gave them everything except their individual armor sets. You know, it just seems a little strange to me, but you know, I can't complain, I guess.
Game if you're willing to grind. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills
And
to find out
skills to
who would
figure out
win
who would win a death battle.
Our story begins at the end. The great cities of old have collapsed. The heroes are dead or mad, and the golden age is over. Looking out upon their decaying kingdom, everyone would like nothing more than to lay down and die. Too bad for them. That's the one thing they couldn't do. The world has been
Start off depressing. The only way you really can start off Dark Souls, just the maximum amount of depressingness, because that's all this game is: depressing and dying. It's you die and you're depressed, which is just really the combo of awfulness, and yet people still play it. I couldn't beat the first game. Then I bought Bloodborne, and I couldn't even get past like the first section of that game. So like, yeah, it was raps for me. Still like it though, because it's just neat.
gripped by the undead curse, turning anyone with a mysterious dark sign into mindless, violent hollows upon repeated soul-crushing deaths. But
Sounds
there is
awful.
a prophecy of a chosen undead who will journey to Lordran, the home of the gods, and save the world. Rotting away in an asylum, all it took was
Height, weight, gender, variable, ageless, prisoner of the Northern Asylum, merged into the soul of Cinder, likes. What are these words? What are any of these words? Okay, easy mode I get. Yeah, Dark Souls is not an easy game. In the words of a great man, Mr. Tamago on YouTube, this game is not for simpletons. If you are a simpleton like me, get out of here right now.
was an assist from an unlucky knight and a giant raven before one unlikely hero was ready to claw their way through their progenitor's forgotten homeland.
And it helps that as long as they can keep their sense of purpose, an undead will always resurrect at the nearest bonfire. Now, they might slowly lose their memories, their personality, and their sanity, but the curse gives them as much time as they need.
Man, they can't. Man, nobody from the Dark Souls series can get anything semi-good without total and complete depression. Just the depression, just like sadness, like, oh, you're immortal. But you will lose your sanity, your personality, and literally everything else after that. Like, it's just depressing, man. Like, why would you give me immortality at that point? Why are you even doing this? I'm gonna do this. I wouldn't if I were them, but I guess they don't have a choice, right?
Undead are unnaturally resilient, able to survive being impaled through the chest. They've been chewed, eaten, and digested by what I can only describe as a toilet.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Immortality, soul exhaustion, superhuman survivability. I mean, I've played Dark Souls like 18 times and I've died like 5 million times, despite the fact that I've played Dark Souls for a total of like 5 hours, maybe. I do not believe you have superhuman survivability. Every time I just get whacked and whacked and whacked. One hit sent to this flipping sky in the sun, man. This dude's getting eaten by a toilet monster, bro. And I do not believe you have any sort of miracle or any sort of superhuman survivability when you get eaten and killed by a toilet monster. Do not come to me when you are doing this.
Toilet demon. And they can have their souls torn from their very body, because undead humans don't need their souls to survive.
Not sure how that works, but okay.
Sunny D, and they're good to go.
Spicy Sunny D. Awful, awful drink. I hate Sunny D.
And speaking of souls, they can absorb the souls of their fallen enemies to increase their power.
They're a master with swords, hammers,
like
spears, axes, bows, you name it. And that's without any formal training.
That's why it's called Dark Souls. It makes sense now.
With the right stats and setup, they can be anything from a cartwheeling assassin to a dragon-smashing tank
to the giantest of dads.
Giant dad, let's go. That only makes sense if you see, if you know what he is. That's humanity. Imagine humanity being part of your arsenal. Like, bro, I have humanity. Does that make me a superhuman? Dragon head, torso stones. Torso stones? What is torso stone? Sunny D is trash. Thank you. I agree with you. Man, flipping it. Torso stones sound like a disease. You know how people will get like kidney stones? Is torso stones like a variant of kidney stones? Is that what Vision had? But for his head, you got head stones, torso stones, kidney stones. You got different kinds. It sounds very unpleasant. Silver pendant, rings. I feel like there have been a lot of characters that people want or have been in Death Battle that use rings. We got flipping Green Lantern, this dude, another Green Lantern if they decide to do Salmon the Digger versus Kyle Rayner. I probably butchered that first name, but whatever. We'll continue.
Sedan.
Based on its size and likely bronze composition, it'd have to weigh over 100 tons. A lot like Goff's Great Bow, which can shoot pillar-sized arrows and one-shot dragons out of the sky.
You see, how was I supposed to get that far? I am losing in the first half of the game. You are losing to a demon pig. A gigantic pig is killing me over and over again. And you want me to fight a flipping dragon and a guy that can shoot an arrow, that can kill a dragon in one hit? Okay? In the words of Captain Sauce, okay, it's like throwing pebbles at a tank, okay? But I am quite literally the pebbles, and every time I get thrown, he shoots me with an arrow, and I die. I'm tired of this. I do not want to fight the flippin' dragon, okay? Let Age of Darkness come, because I do not want to be fighting no dragons.
Favorite, the Moonlight Greatsword, produced from the ass of the albino dragon and founder of sorcery, Seath the Scaleless. This
I don't know what any of those three things have to do with each other.
Fire powerful sword sword beams and
Cool sword though.
just looks so cool.
The chosen undead has learned magic
That's
from
what I
the greatest practitioners in the world. They can create shockwaves, form defensive barriers, reflect damage, throw balls of
Can't we
flame,
all?
control
Can't like
minds,
everybody
fire
on the show
magical
create
crystal spears,
shockwaves?
turn invisible, and toss bolts of sunlight strong enough to peel the stone scales off of mortal dragons.
So their pool of magic is pretty limited. So if it comes
Iron flesh? Magic, you're obviously not going to be able to list it all because it's a lot. Did they only use Dark Souls 1 feats? Maybe they used Dark Souls 2 and 3 feats, but to me it just felt like they used only one. And once again, didn't give him any armor. Don't know why. If they are using all three of the Dark Souls games, the main character uses different armors throughout that game. Like on the cover of each of those games, they're wearing different armor. So I don't know why they didn't include different pieces of armor, but whatever. Chaos Storm, still confused about what Iron Flesh is. Really just a durability move. Sunlight, Great Magic Barrier, Wrath of the Gods. That sounds awesome.
down
Sounds
to
awesome.
it, they can shut off all magic in the vicinity with the miracle Vow of Silence.
Preventing anyone from speaking any spells
Man, imagine
aloud,
one of your
including
greatest
themselves. With
weapons
this incredible arsenal
hinders
and judicious
yourself
attention paid to the
more than
stamina
it does
bar,
other
the
people,
chosen
really.
undead was rolling their way to victory.
A roll so powerful it bends the laws of
It's a Dark
space
Souls
and
roll.
warps them through attacks like they weren't even there. Though sometimes it doesn't work and it's bullshit.
That's just a game mechanic, but great to use when you're panicking.
They've defeated Nido, the god of death, the bed of chaos, the mother of all demon
It's not bad. It's not bad. That wasn't a bed. That was a tree. That was a tree with
That
arms.
was
Don't
when
lie
the
to me.
chosen undead was dragged back in time to face the fallen knight
You
Artorias, the greatest
eyeball
warrior in
hand.
history. And not only defeat him, but accomplish the greatest feat attributed to Artorias' legend, the destruction of
Man, some
Manus,
random
the
dude
father of the
pulls up
abyss
to
that
me,
threatened to
kills
consume
me,
the
and
world.
then
They've even
does
beaten other
one of my
chosen undead
greatest
from
legends
alternate worlds,
for me.
like the
I would
best
be so
buddy in
upset,
all
man. That would
gaming,
be.
Solaire. Praise the
I don't even
sun,
think
bro.
that.
And soon they
Oh,
were
praise the
approached by
sun.
these
Let's
two slithery
go.
freaks.
He said the
One
thing.
said to link the fire, and the other said to let it die out, which totally makes sense. Wiz can explain it.
Don't look at me. Dark Souls lore is as notoriously convoluted as the flow of its time stream, which is why we have a
Goodness.
true expert in the realms of nerdom to explain it for us. Oh, Jocelyn.
Jocelyn, it's been a while since we've seen you. When was the last time you saw Jocelyn, now that I think about it? From what I remember, I think it was. Was it Kool-Aid Man versus Macho Man? It couldn't have been. We had the. Not including the desk of Death Bell, because nobody watched that. That's the last time I remember seeing her. Maybe she appeared in an episode before this. She definitely appeared in the last episode. She definitely didn't do that.
Descriptions, forum posts, and moody 2013 lore videos I had to watch through for this.
2004
It's
edgy.
story time, kids. In the beginning,
Says
the
the guy
world
wearing
was
fingerless
unformed
gloves, I
and
guess.
static. Then suddenly, the first flame burst to life, and with it, the concepts of heat and cold, life and death, energy and time, light and dark.
Sounds like a
Light
mythological
is
Big
time.
Bang.
The gods were granted immensely powerful souls from the first flame.
Probably
but
that
their greatest fear
probably
was
what
the
it
soul
got.
possessed collectively by the race known as humanity, the Dark Soul. The Skyfather
Ah,
within feared
that's why
humanity's
it's called.
immortality, and so sealed their dark souls within them. But as humanity reproduced, the Dark Soul collectively grew and the first flame waned. Turns out humans were naturally undying, or according to the gods' propaganda, undead.
Gasp! It sounded like a conspiracy.
Oh,
The
that's a
undead curse was a
propaganda.
lie.
Linking the fire means
Depressing.
using your very soul as fuel to keep the first flame burning.
Sounds
If an
painful.
undead champion believes their immortality is a curse, they'll do anything to prevent it, including
I would.
burning fragments of the dark soul to keep the age of the gods going.
So you're a pawn in a game played by decrepit gods desperately clinging to power.
Sad.
Well, that's a huge bummer.
They might look like a depressed California raisin, but in order to link the flame, their soul needs to be strong enough to maintain the whole universe.
All right, that was the first. Do I have a pencil around here? I do. All right, this will work, I guess. All right. I laugh at that joke. Every time I laugh at a Death Battle joke, I want to keep track of it. So we got one in my head. We got one singular joke so far I've laughed at. All right.
and the flow of time for another 1,000 years.
Other similarly powerful undead across time are swift enough to dodge lightning and even light itself. Based on their dodge compared to this beam and the time it took to reach them, they'd be reacting and moving at over 20.
Link the first flame or become the Dark Lord. So your options are die or become the Dark Lord. Seems like a pretty obvious choice to me. Okay, either become the Lord of an entire like decade or whatever, or die. This is pretty obvious. 4 kings defeated 4 kings. You're gonna have to be more specific. Who are these
20%
kings?
the speed of
Are they
light.
one person?
At the end of
No,
their
in Dark
quest,
Souls, it
they
might be one
faced
person.
down and defeated Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, long hollowed from linking the flame 1,000 years ago. So, which will you choose? Link the fire and prolong the
I
current
ain't
age,
linking
or let it
nothing.
fade
I'm
until
stepping
only
on that
dark
fire and
remains.
spitting
This
what's left.
is the biggest bummer of them all. Truth is, it never mattered. The cycle just continues age after age, with new heroes replacing the old ones, until the chosen undead was long forgotten.
Until the infinite march of time
that's
ground
sad.
the world to ash. It was never about the happy ending. It didn't exist. It was about the struggle to get there. That's ultimately what gives us meaning.
This episode
Depressing.
of Death Battle is sponsored by Brandon.
That's right,
Brandon!
Boomstick. Dive into the thrilling world of versus music with Brandon Yates as he brings hypothetical matchups to life through his commissioned composition.
Yeah,
Brandon
Diabolos
is
are
one of the
despicable me
composers
playing him.
behind Death Battle, bringing us the incredible, show-stopping songs you know and love. Seriously, we love this guy.
We watching
Hollow
the ad
Dreams,
because I
Princes
love
of
this guy.
Pride, Hedge of Tomorrow, and some of our all-time greats. In fact, he composed the track for this very episode.
We'd love it if you supported Brandon's work and
Which is an
enjoyed
amazing
more of his
track, by the
music
way.
by subscribing to his
Let's
channel and
go.
following him on Spotify.
Ever had a matchup you just want to see
I
on
don't
the
have
show?
Spotify,
and
so I
just
can't
wish
I
you
can't
had
follow
the
him. But
music
I
track
subscribe
for
to him
it?
on YouTube.
Well, fans
and
of
you
Death
guys
Battle
should
have
too.
been loving
'Cause it's
Brandon's
amazing.
music for years, all commissioned by fans like you.
We're talking
I want to
hundreds
commission
of
one of his
commissioned
songs
songs,
at some point.
all for hypothetical episodes of Death Battle.
Everything
know
from
if
hard rock to
I
jazzy
think I
to
should.
electronic to
It would just
orchestral
be neat.
choirs.
And because Brandon is literally one of the main composers of this show, every track he makes sounds straight out of Death Battle itself.
Love the music from Death Battle? Then don't wait. Subscribe to Brandon Yates' YouTube and follow him on Spotify right away.
Alright.
Hey, you! You're finally
You're finally awake.
Welcome to the frosty Viking paradise of Skyrim.
We just
Visit
starting
the
off with the
quaint
main
Nordic villages. Hike up to the throne of the world. Marvel at the
Man, I
beauty of...
couldn't, for the longest time, I could not find the flippin' people, okay? I had to activate like 30 different mods just to get to that top of that stupid frozen mountain. Still haven't completed Skyrim, but like, to be fair, I don't think most people have completed Skyrim, okay? Not even because it's hard, just because it's so long and there's so many things you can do.
Blackreach. Hey, what's that in the sky? Why, it's Macho Man Randy Savage. No,
It's Randy Savage
Thomas
here.
the Tank Engine.
That's Thomas the Tank. Wait, Thomas the Tank Engine. Foreshadowing. I really want Lightning McQueen versus Thomas the Tank Engine. Not because I actually like the matchup. I just think it's hilarious. Frankly, it's the same reason I want Fred versus the Annoying Orange. Although I put that matchup above Thomas versus flippin' Lightning. Okay, just because the other one makes more sense to me.
That is a dragon, but not just any mere drake. This is Alduin, the World Eater, and he's come to burn
Cool name.
everything to a cinder.
But fortunately for you, his path of destruction happened to interrupt your impending execution at the hands of
great.
those uppity Imperial pigs. That'll be the worst mistake this scaly monster would ever make.
It wouldn't be long before you escaped the destruction of Helgen and defeated a dragon yourself.
Then absorbed its freaking soul.
That could only mean one thing. You are a
You
being
are
born
the
with the blood and
dragon
soul of a
born.
dragon in the body of a Nord, or elf, or Khajiit, or lizard dude, destined to battle Alduin and save.
Alright, pencil. Let's do. Snicker. So that's a Snicker. So we'll give it like a half a point. So that's really one. To be fair, I don't laugh like out loud that much. So maybe not Death Battle's fault entirely, but like, what can you do? What can you do? That was fun.
The world.
And Lizard
In
Dude.
their tongue, you are the Dovahkiin. Dragonborn!
In their
Oh,
quest to
fuck
rid
you.
Tamriel of Alduin's dragon
And
army,
he's
the
6
Dragonborn
foot.
became a
Wait, you can adjust your height in Skyrim. Why did they give him a height? Man,
jack of all
whatever. Maybe
trades,
he's got more of a
master
canon height since,
Oh,
like,
they learned to be
in
a
most of the
master
promotion,
assassin
you
with
have
the
a
Dark
clear
Brotherhood,
image of
a
what he
master
looks like.
sorcerer with the
Well, in Dark
College of
Souls, he's just
Winterhold, a
a
master thief
dude.
with the Nightingales, a master dragon hunter with the Blades, and a master good boy. Who's a good boy? That's a good boy.
They even fought in the
And seeing a
Skyrim Civil
werewolf with
War
a sword
on
is
the side
so
of the
weird.
Imperial Legion.
Okay, so
Champions
he's
of war.
also
You mean
immortal.
the
So,
Nordic
like,
War for
why are we even having
Independence
this
on the
discussion?
side of the Stormcloaks?
Those elf-funded Nord supremacists?
Better than those jackbooted Cyrodiil fascists? But what else could I
Dang.
expect from a monster who steals from innocent villagers by sticking buckets over their heads?
They can put their skills to good use with an absolute glut of weaponry. Not just the usuals like daggers, swords, hammers, and axes, but also special weapons given to them by the Daedric princes.
They're basically crazy powerful gods from the
Who
plane
the
of
heck is this dude?
existence called Oblivion. From that wascally wabbit Sheogorath, the Dragonborn received the
Hey,
Wabbajack,
Wabbajack.
a staff that casts a completely random spell on its target.
Don't know why you
from
would ever use
disintegrating
that.
them to
You just
healing them to turning
cast a
them into
random
chicken.
spell.
From Meridia,
I don't
they
know why you
received
would
the
use it.
Dawnbreaker, a holy sword made for burning the undead to ash.
Oh, so really
That's similar
looking,
to Oriel's
really
bow,
cool
which can
looking
shoot
sword.
fiery arrows that can blot
I
out
don't like
the sun,
its
cover
look
the
as
distance
much
between
as
the
the
Earth and
Dark
sun
Souls
in about
sword,
2
but still
seconds.
looks cool.
The arrow would have to be moving at over 250 times the speed of light.
Except this isn't Earth and the
Rookie
sun. This
numbers.
is the
Everyone
planet
on
Nerd,
this
and
show
that's
can do that
Magnus.
this last
According to the Elder
thing.
Scrolls lore master Michael Kirkbride and his in-universe text cosmology, when you look up at the sun, you're actually looking into a dimension of pure magic. Confused
Oh,
yet? I am.
Exact measurements here are difficult to make, but if anything, the distance
dimension
should be
of
much
magic?
greater.
Speaking of magic
So it's like
bullshit,
Harry Potter.
the Dragonborn can heal themselves, cast
You're
wards and
looking into Harry
destructive
Potter when you
elemental
look at the
spells,
sun?
control minds, conjure weapons, and summon lesser Daedra to help them out in a scrap.
They're an especially powerful mage because their mana recovers
It's a woman
itself
made out of fire.
automatically over
That was a
time.
fire
They'll
woman.
never
Woman
truly
made
run
out of
out
fire.
of firepower. But as a Dovahkiin, the ability they're most famous
Sounds
for
like a
is
classic
the Thum,
rock
or
song that would
shout.
be like,
By speaking the words of
oh,
the
dude,
dragon
created in,
language,
like,
they
the
can manifest
16
their will into
60s?
reality.
Like with the
60s, yeah, we'll go
classic
back.
Fus Ro Dah, an unrelenting force which can knock your neighbors into next week, or Soul Tear, which
Correct.
removes the soul from your enemy's body
Epic.
and stores it in a cute gem, like so. Riva Soul! Wait, why didn't anything? Oh.
Student loans, man. Something had to cover the down payment. With these
Alright.
shouts, the dragon
Alright, that was 1.5. 1.5. So a Snicker. I don't have an actual piece of paper. I'm just keeping track in my head. I'm just making it look like I have a piece of paper so it looks like I prepared for this joke. But I came up with this joke on the spot, and now I'm just kind of rolling with it. This is why we do live streams, people. Come up with things on the spot.
Dragonborn can summon country-spanning storms, slow down time, and even call upon a dragon for help. Odahviing. Dragons may look like scaly reptiles, but in reality, they're immortal demigods older than time itself. They're the children
Yeah,
of the chief god of Tamriel's pantheon.
The Dragonborn is an unstoppable force of nature. If they happen to take any damage, they can just drink a potion or nosh on a cheese wheel and be good as
Just
new.
eat like
And
5
they can
tons of
carry up
cheese.
to
You'll be good.
150
Get
cheeses
your arms
at
cut off.
once.
Just eat like
I
3
dream.
pounds of cheese.
Assuming
You'll be
these
fine.
abnormally large cheese
They'll
wheels have
grow
an
back.
average weight of 70 pounds, we can determine that the Dragonborn
Heavy
can carry
cheese.
up to
We actually doing
10,500
these feet?
pounds of cheese.
And that makes sense, considering they
We
can match
pulling a
muscles with
Minecraft
giants
Steve
who
on
are
this
so
where we
strong they
counting
can
the amount of
shatter the
cheese he
game's
can hold?
spaghetti code to
The
pieces.
cheese
Last
hole.
Dragonborn has battled the vampire Lord Harkon, ended Skyrim Civil
Man, I
War,
wanted to become a
and defeated
vampire
the
so
first
bad in
Dragonborn,
Skyrim.
Miraak.
And according to the book, the Guardian
But I
and
didn't
the
have the
Traitor,
DLC, so I
Miraak
couldn't
was
become like
powerful
the
enough to tear
god
apart the island
vampire,
of
so I just
Solstheim from
gave
Skyrim's
up.
mainland.
So
By
normal
comparing
vampires
the
kind of
size of
suck.
various countries on Tamriel's map, we can determine that Solstheim is a landmass nearly 1,500 miles in diameter. In order to move that much land over the course of their fight, Miraak's magical prowess must have output an energy over 300 teratons of TNT.
That's
It's a
3
lot of
times the
explosions.
impact of the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Kind of
Not too
rookie
crazy when
numbers to
shouts can get
blocking out
strong
a
enough to
different
shake the
universe, but
world
whatever.
itself.
It wasn't long before the Dragonborn confronted Alduin in Nord Heaven and put an end to the World Eater once and for all.
The epithet is literal. By absorbing the souls in Skyrim's afterlife, Alduin was powerful enough to devour everything. Not just the planet of Nurn,
Everything?
but the Kalpa, the entire timeline past, present, and future.
That's the
So he
level
can
of
just
unimaginable power the
the
Dragonborn
timeline.
is dealing with here.
Tamriel is no stranger to great heroes across its vast, sprawling history. The Nerevarine,
Who
the
is this
heroes
dude?
Kvatch, all magnificent in their own right.
But when you heard that shout echo through the mountains and the death throes of a dragon defeated, you knew it could only be the Dovahkiin. Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin.
What was that dog bark at the end?
Hey, Wiz, did you know that I can blow up a galaxy?
What? How?
I signed up for a Death Battle YouTube membership by clicking the join button on
I
any
ain't doing this. I did it for Brandon because I like Brandon. And I ain't signing up to your flipping thing, dude. Sorry.
Czar set in
Love
front
you,
of the
Death
day
Battle.
that
I
through
don't
all
love you that much.
possibilities.
It's time for a Death
Death
Battle!
Even though it may not seem like it, it's my favorite Death Battle. My favorite Death Battle of Season 10. Not supposed to be my favorite Death Battle overall. Definitely my favorite of Season 10.
Agents of Dark will do anything to snuff out the light. Save us, chosen
Oh,
undead.
dang. Fireborn hits different. Slicing and slicing. Rolling. Rolling. Can't touch me. Can't touch this. Where'd you get that hammer from? You can't immediately pull out hammers in Dark Souls. You gotta go into the menu and change your weapon. Ow. Hey, reference. I took an arrow. I used to be Avenger like you. I took an arrow to the face. There, dude. Now we can stop time here. Ooh. Ain't gonna do too much though. You can take his soul. You don't need it. Okay, apparently he needs it because he's dead now. Nope, never mind. You don't need that. I think his humanity was restored before he started his battle. Hey, we went from Dark Souls POV for a second. That was nice. A little detail. Ooh, big dragon. Big dragon. I don't think that dragon is that big. Well, you dead. You see, that wouldn't happen if you had some better armor. No. Ooh. Oh. You didn't have to do him like that, man. Ooh, lightning powers. And light powers. Lightning and light. That should be the name of the Death Battle track, because that's on the boss. It's the name of the track in general, Lightning and Light. Still a cool sword. That's a cool sword, but it's still a cool sword, everybody. Oh, never mind. The magic is gone. I think it sounds like you're in a bubble when it's. Ooh.
Prepare to die.
Man, him saying prepare to die is one of the best things in this death battle. Followed by one of the worst things in my opinion, death itself. Like the fire tornado looks cool, but then he just kind of flew through dodge and then it just kind of disappears.
Let true dark be cast upon the world.
The ending's depressing though, with both of them dying probably and then darkness just being guided onto the world, which fits Dark Souls because Dark Souls is depressing and sad.
You die! Oh my
Right there.
god, this boss is bullshit!
This debate was
That's how I felt
fascinating.
playing
The Dragonborn
Dark
had a
Souls
wider variety of
against every
training,
boss,
better access
every
to summons,
character,
and magic that
every
passively
enemy,
regenerate, as
and
opposed
any
to the chosen
staircase, just
undead's
any.
limited pool of magic.
Vow of Silence was a slick counter to the Dragonborn's magic and shouts, but it wouldn't last forever.
The Dragonborn was significantly faster, too. The Chosen Undead could dodge
Alright.
beams of light, sure, but Oriel's bow could fire arrows that move at least 250 times that.
But none of that mattered if the Chosen Undead couldn't
Well-
stay dead.
You'd think the Dragonborn's anti-undead weaponry like Dawnbreaker would be
Nah,
an easy solution, but the undead of Dark Souls aren't really the same as Draugr from Skyrim.
Skyrim
Dude, he's
undead
not-
are more like those
he's not
classic
undead, he's
reanimated
just
skeletons.
immortal.
But remember the conspiracy. Humans in Dark Souls are naturally immortal. They're not actually undead.
Soul Tear wouldn't have been much use either, considering humans in Dark Souls can have their souls removed without dying.
So why didn't the Chosen Undead just keep coming back until they eventually won? Like with any Dark Souls boss.
One word, power. The Dragonborn had way more and greater feats of raw power than the Chosen Undead.
Oh yeah,
Fair enough.
like summoning country-spanning storms with a single
Because
shout,
in like
or
Skyrim
defeating
you're supposed to
Mirax
feel
who split a
cool, but
continent.
in Dark Souls you're supposed to feel hopeless. So you obviously can't show that many feats of immense strength.
Gameplay alone won't give you the best idea of their full power as characters.
So let's get an idea of their max potential from the lore.
The
The
Chosen
lore.
Undead sustaining the first flame of their soul was insanely impressive. Considering the first flame is responsible for the core concepts of the universe, like energy.
It's like if I
time,
went
it's
into
not
the
a stretch
Big
to say
Bang
it
and
affects
just
not just the planet they live
powered
on,
it.
but the whole universe.
But that's nothing compared
Impressive,
to the
but
power
not as
levels in
impressive.
the Elder Scrolls.
Let's compare the first flame to Alduin. Both literally run on the power of souls, and both can be directly scaled to our combatants.
Alduin had strength to consume the universe, not just Nirn, but the Kalpa as well.
You know those planets you see in the sky? According to cosmology, those are actually separate, infinitely big planes of reality. Alduin was going to eat infinity. Multiple
Oh.
infinities.
In comparison,
Ooh.
the first flame is powerful enough to sustain a universe and the flow of time. But it can't be infinite, otherwise it never would have faded to begin with.
And that meant
Technically, the Chosen
just
Undead
wasn't powerful
could
enough
have
no
won.
matter how many
Like, he
times
could
they
have just
revive.
kept
With that
coming
much of a
back.
difference in power, the Chosen Undead would
Eventually, the
eventually
last
lose their will
Dragonborn
to
would
fight
have to
and
get
go
tired.
alone.
He's still
It's
human
not
after all.
traditional,
Well,
but it is a form
or
of
like a
death
tiger guy
in
or a
Dark
lizard beast.
Souls. The Chosen Undead was surely tenacity
Oh,
personified,
there's the pun.
but still wasn't enough to stand up to the
waiting
Dragonborn's
for it.
incredible skill, broken arsenal, and
I'm
overwhelming
waiting for
power.
it.
The Chosen Undead could only last so long before they flamed out.
The winner is the Dragonborn.
I gotta take a
Thanks for
point
watching.
away,
Stay
man.
tuned.
It's
We have a
just
new death
one
battle
now. I gotta
releasing
take
every
half
2
a
weeks
point
this
away
year.
for that point.
And
That
click
was
the join button
awful.
to get new perks and extra content. Planet level
What was the
members
next
you can
battle
see
again?
death battles before anyone else. So
Honestly,
don't miss
for
out.
that. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Alright, Killua versus Misaka? What's her name? And seeing Killua in regular clothes is kind of weird. It was Misaka. I got it right. Alright, that will be next time. That will be next time. I said that will be next time. We ain't watching this yet. We ain't watching this yet. Alright.
Killua, anyone dumb enough?
Ow. Ow. That's so loud. That was mega. Alright. Well, stream's ending. Stream's ending, yeah. It's basically it. I'll see if I can do more tomorrow. I feel more energetic than I did last stream, and I hope you guys can feel that too. But we'll see if I can do like another stream tomorrow that will hopefully be longer, if we can get that to work.